I'm not going to make the mistake this time. I'm not going to hit rim shot. I was a little early on the drop. I was a little early. That's okay. How you doing, guys?
What's up, everyone? Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. I interrupted you.
What's up, everyone?
Your boy Lemac.
I'm Carlos.
And we are SumYungGuys.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Yes, sir. We just hit a phenomenal back day at the gym today.
Yep. It was a good back workout. We started with deadlifts this time, so we really went hard.
Yeah. Last time, so the last podcast, we also did back day right before. And we started with lat pull downs for some reason, and then did a bunch of other stuff like rows. And then we went into deadlifts, and that was just terrible. I lifted 315 for 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
And just was like, this is not happening. This is just not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to deadlift. And then today we started with deads, and I hit a new PR. I hit 405. I'm pretty proud of it because the max that I had lifted before was 365 for 3. But I hit 405 for 2 times. So I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy.
I didn't PR, but it's okay.
It's fine. You don't deadlift though.
So like I'm not, no excuses or anything, but if he's doing deadlifts, I say fuck it, I'm doing the deadlifts. But seeing him bust out 10 for 315, I was like, oh no, I got to get this shit too. So I think that's what pushed me.
He did too. He did hit 315 for 10. So
I wasn't expecting to hit that much with 315. So
yeah. For someone that doesn't deadlift, he's got a very strong deadlift. And I deadlift every couple of weeks just because I don't want to throw my back out because I go a little hard every time.
I think I'm going to start religiously doing it though. Yeah. I think deadlift, squat, and chest, bench press, incline bench press is like the solid, balance between everything else. Everything else you can just kind of include here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. The compound lifts, the heavy compound lifts are very, very important for testosterone production, for overall growth muscles-wise, especially the lower body ones, just because those are the biggest muscles. The larger the muscles that you work out, the more testosterone you produce. So you can't skip leg day. You can't skip deadlifts, unfortunately. If you have a bad back, do light deadlifts until you have a stronger back. Do a lot of movement training exercises, range of motion training to build strength in the awkward areas wherever you might have pain. Do as much body weight manipulation to strengthen those pain areas until the pain subsides, gets better. Get massages, maybe see a chiropractor or a doctor. I don't know what you need to do. Chiropractic medicine is not necessarily medicine. It's kind of a pseudoscience, but I mean, if it helps you, even placebo is better than nothing. Right. I love cracking my back. So if that's all they're doing for you, but it really feels like it helps, more power to you. I feel like it's a waste of money personally because I can crack my back like 15 times in one go. Let's see. No, I don't have it right now. A little bit, halfway. Felt like 6 of them.
I know. Don't you always like standing up? You kind of like crack it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be able to crack your back like I can.
It's the funniest thing though. This one time I went to go get a massage, and then I'm like, more pressure. And the lady, the Chinese lady, she had to go grab a male and like put more pressure on my back. And I kept telling them, I'm like, I want more. Like I can barely feel this. And they were both just like beating the shit out of my back. And then they're like, you have like a solid back. Like, yeah, you have like a massive like
back
mass.
Is very solid.
And then I was like, I'm sorry. I don't feel like the pressure. And they literally grabbed like these wooden things and they started like just kind of like drilling into my back. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect. And they were laughing because they were like getting a workout.
This guy is insane.
For real. They're like no one else.
We don't want to hurt you.
Yeah. I was like, no, you fucking break my back.
Yeah, seriously. But I actually, when it comes to like getting a back massage, one time I was telling my uncle when I first started working out and I was like really hitting back heavy because back day is my favorite. I love hitting back because a built back is very important. 1, for not hurting yourself in older age, and 2, it just looks cool, in my opinion. But anyways, I'm telling my uncle about how I went and got a massage, but I was like, man, the Asian girl, she just like she wasn't heavy enough. She's like a skinny little Asian girl, and you know, it's like she's not heavy enough. It's honestly better if a dude did the back massage. And my uncle was like, nah, couldn't be me. That's some gay shit. And I'm like, for function, it's necessary. Like if I'm gonna get a massage, I want to get my money's worth. And if I need a dude to massage my back because he's strong, they ain't got Olga over there. It's Olga's not in this massage parlor. I need whatever the dude's name is. I couldn't think of the stereotypical Chinese guy name, or Asian guy name.
I could look at Rush Hour too.
I am you.
Like, wait, you are
No,
me.
he is me. I am you. That's such a good
Whoever
movie.
he is, you're hitting way too damn much.
Speaking of which, there's a movie coming out with I think the YouTuber Kai Cenat.
Oh yeah.
There's a movie coming out that looks like a recreation of Rush Hour. It looks dead on like Rush Hour. I think it's called like Around the World or Across the Globe or something like that. It's like some investigation thing because it's a buddy cop. It's basically Rush Hour, but they called it something else. And I was like, nah, bro, that's Rush Hour.
That'd be nice though.
That would be cool if they bring back Rush Hour with new actors.
There's no 3, right? Is there 3?
There is a third Rush Hour.
Oh, the Paris one, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The one in Paris. I can't remember, honestly, the other two. I know that the first one
It's in LA.
was them meeting in L.A. and all that. I can't remember what the second one was about. But I know I loved all of the Rush Hour movies. The bloopers at the end were always hilarious.
Right.
Always hilarious.
I love Jackie Chan. He's
Yeah,
amazing.
he's awesome. He's awesome. It's sad to see him getting older
Yeah.
and getting kind of not necessarily frail, but like because he did his own stunts like his entire career. So seeing that take its toll is really hard to watch. There was a clip that came out of him and his daughter watching all of his stunt video, like all the stunts that he did, and like where he's falling from buildings and getting hit by cars and stuff like that. And like they start breaking down in tears because I'm sure she understands and is experiencing back home what it's like to have to care for him when he's, you know, in pain and all of that. And she's seeing what caused all the pain. And also because she's directly benefited from that. Like she has a great life because he's put himself through that pain and all of that danger, all of those different things, working to build a better life for himself.
Damn.
Yeah. Speaking of which, it's not off topic, but Jackie Chan, before he was in American movies, I'm pretty sure, if I remember this correctly, he was in a Chinese porno. I waited to let you take that sip a little longer so you wouldn't spit it out, but yeah, apparently he was in. I'm dead ass. I'm pretty sure he was in a Chinese porn movie. This man grabs his phone.
I gotta make sure.
I heard this a while ago. I'm fairly certain. I don't know the name of the movie. Just look up was Jackie Chan in porn, and I think it's true.
And 2.
Oh, see.
And he's like, he stated that I had to do anything. Hold on, I gotta read this. What the fuck? Whatever, I don't know.
Huh. Anyway, he was in 2 pornos. It's very interesting. There are actually a decent amount of actors that started their careers, like male actors that started their careers in that industry. I don't recommend it. Don't do porn, kids. It's probably just as bad as drugs.
It's sad. It's sad.
It's very sad. It's very, especially for women. For men, it's a little different because I feel like generally men that get into that industry do it by choice because, that's sounds like something a man would do. Whereas a lot of women kind of get coerced into it or they've been abused early on in life. A lot of the time, generally speaking, that's what happened. And so it's really, really, really a sad industry. And then, of course, there are some women that are just like, yeah, I just want to do it. They had a great life and for some reason, that's the industry they want to go into. And, by all means, you have the freedom to do that. I disagree with that. I don't think that's a very good idea for your overall life, but hey, it's a free country.
So apparently, like in today's time, it would be considered like PG. Like it wasn't like an actual porno. It was like conservative porno, meaning that this is what he stated. You know,
Like softcore porn.
he quoted, "I had to do anything. I couldn't make a living at 31 years. I couldn't make living 31 years ago, but I don't think it's a big deal. Even Marlon Brando used to be exposed in his movies. The porn movie at the time was more conservative than the current films." That's what he said.
So it was basically softcore. It wasn't like actual.
It wasn't actual. It's like
day.
one of two sex scenes, and then it was like on this show called. It was an adult comedy called All in the Family. So I think it was like a show, and then they just showed like
okay, so
a
like
sex scene.
It's probably just as bad as Game of Thrones nowadays.
Basically,
Yeah, like if not even that bad. So
that's not porn, my guy.
that's not porn.
Yeah, motherfuckers better not judge him.
No, I'm not judging him.
No, I'm just
like,
saying, like anyone
Homeboy-
out there,
Homeboy was doing what he had to do,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
and you know, he certainly didn't stay in that industry because
no.
he's very well known for all the other things he did. Did you ever see that movie where it was I think his last movie that he made. It was on Netflix for a while, but basically there was a bombing. His daughter was killed, and then he went basically John Wick on some mofos.
I saw trailers, but never the movie, unfortunately.
Very good movie.
Was it
Very
good?
good movie.
Really?
Yeah, he's the equivalent of a Navy SEAL, but I think can't remember in the movie he might have been. I don't remember. I wanted to say that he might have been from Vietnam, but that doesn't sound right. Like in the movie, because obviously he's Chinese, but in the movie, I think he might have been from Vietnam, or there was a point in time where he was like escaping from China and was captured by the Vietnamese, something like that. Okay. But that's like how he got his skills, essentially, is he was doing all that stuff. But anyways, that's besides the point. Today, we wanted to talk about emotional control, and you know, being a man, having control over your emotions, channeling your emotions into positive activities, and things of that nature. So, yeah, let's get right to it. I mean, as we're 12 minutes in. But one example of in my opinion, the best way to channel anger, for example, would be the gym for sure. Today, not going to lie, I had a little bit of that going on. I had some things happen yesterday, family-wise, that were just on my mind, frustrating stuff. Nothing serious. No one was injured or anything like that. I was just like dealing with some family drama that frustrated me a lot. And that might be part of why I was able to lift 405. Maybe not. I don't know. But regardless, definitely channeled that into a much more productive activity. Whereas, you know, some of my vices before I got in the gym especially would be playing video games, smoking weed, that kind of thing. And that is definitely not nearly as productive as going to the gym, building your body, keeping your health in shape, keeping your health up, all of those different things. It's very, very, very important to be able to channel those negative emotions into more positive activities. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I believe that, definitely. I think it's best to find other topics, like subjects, you know, things to do. Like gym is one of the main things I use to de-stress, kind of focus my energy towards too, instead of you know, picking up bad habits, as in like you know, I hear like when you know people and then they're like drug addicts or something. I don't understand how alcohol, drugs, and shit like that, like that makes you pick that. I've never gotten to that point where I'm like, I'm gonna drink my shit up, like my life away, or I'm gonna like do this drug so I can forget about everything. Like, I don't know if that makes me different, or I just have never tried it, which I don't think I want to try it.
Definitely don't try it. You're already on the straight and narrow. Don't try it. Don't do anything to mess that up.
I feel stressed. I'm gonna just try this once.
I'm gonna try drinking my problems away just tonight, just to see what it's like, because you know people do it all the time. No, not a good idea.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like there was this one time like I don't know why. I just figured it would be easier. And then like halfway through like me drinking, getting really drunk, I was just like, man, this is retarded. Especially the next morning, like I was just hungover as shit. And I was like, nah, dude, this isn't it.
There is that. There is the after effect of that bad choice. I mean, the after effect of going to the gym is you're sore, but also you get stronger from it. I would say that another good reason to not use alcohol specifically is because it's proven that alcohol generally, not for everyone, makes people more violent. So like the more drunk you get, the more irritable you can be, the more violent you might react, the easier it is to anger you, things like that. So if you're mad or emotional for any reason, drinking your problems away, probably not going to help. And who knows, maybe you'll make a breakthrough. Maybe that'll loosen you up so you can talk about your feelings. You might not even remember that conversation. So really, did it do anything for you? Did? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I'd say not.
I always, like, it's in a mature and, like, you know, actual understanding way. I always try to put myself in other people's shoes and kind of try to understand why they choose drugs and alcohol. Or there's some people like, you know, like, oh, my parents never paid attention to me, so I'm going to go gangbang. You know, like, and I, well, join a gang or something. And I never understood that. Never in my life.
I will speak on that point a little bit. The main reason, from what I understand, because I've never gangbanged, but from what I understand, so we think. Anyways, the main reason that people join gangs typically is because they lack a father figure, whether it's an actual father in the home or even just a positive male role model in their lives that helps them focus on more positive activities like sports or academics. And then this dude, or just generally a positive male role model in someone's life generally keeps kids from gangbanging, because especially young men, they need that male validation, essentially validation from men that are more successful than them, typically, that are accomplished, that they respect, because it helps them develop into the men that they wish they could be. They need someone to, I don't want to say idolize, because you shouldn't create false idols, but for lack of a better term, an ideal, actually, that would be a better term. They need an ideal to strive towards, and that ideal can kind of come in any form, which is why having a positive male role model as opposed to a negative male role model, like a pimp, a gangbanger, drug dealer, that kind of thing, those tend to be negative role models. But people use them anyways, because oftentimes if you are in a fatherless home, you're in an area where that is common. And so where gangbanging, drug dealing, all of that is common. And so you end up kind of getting into a cycle, because then you join the gang and then you end up doing the things that gangbangers are doing, like knocking up women and then not fathering those children. And so it's a vicious cycle that keeps a lot of people down. And it's really bad. It's really bad. And oftentimes those young men also have problems regulating their emotions. And that's why they gangbang, or they're violent, or things of that nature, because someone said something to them or stepped on their shoe by accident, and they don't know how to handle it. They think that the default is to, you disrespected me, now we need to fight, or I need to kill you.
That's another thing I don't understand. And I do understand, I don't understand, because like there's times, I guess, you know, you might be stressed out, you know, fighting your own battles in your own head. Someone bumps into you and you spill the cup that you're trying to hold and not spill over. That's how I imagine stress. Like, imagine holding this cup and it's right at the brim, and you're just trying to fight it from spilling over, because as soon as it spills over, you're going to fucking unleash all that stress on everyone.
That's a really good analogy, actually.
And you imagine just walking, you know, and not just walking, but like kind of fast walking, and you're trying to balance this cup, and someone bumps into you, or someone says something, and you get distracted from holding this cup perfectly so it won't spill, and you turn and you spill some, and you get pissed, and you start unleashing all this stress on other people. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it. And I understand when people get stressed. That's why I always try to, like, when I see someone that's kind of breathing heavy, or kind of like just not wanting to talk or kind of just focus on something too much, it's like, hey man, you all right? Just want to make sure, like, you okay?
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 times, if they trust you and you know that you're a good friend, or, you know, all that stuff, they'll be like, oh man, I'm just going through something. And then right there, you have the option of being like, all right, man, well, just let me know. And if you walk away, that's fucked up. But I usually tend to say, what's going on? You want to talk about it? Like, you're good?
Yeah.
And if they say yes, awesome. Kind of like step away and be like, what's going on? Just kind of let them like, you know, let them pour that cup into something else. Like, you know, either like spill some without having to unleash all that, you know, energy, that negative energy. Or if they don't want to talk about it at the time, be like, all right, we'll talk in a little bit. And most likely they'll be like, all right, trying to, you know, let them be able to breathe a little bit because they feel like they're just in a little box in their head. And then the other day I was so stressed myself, like, and I feel bad because like sometimes my lady feels it and I try to play it cool. But, you know, sometimes you need like homies, family or something just to be like, what's going on? Like, oh, you know, just kind of talk about it. And then once you're a little bit less de-stressed, it's good to talk about it with your woman too. You know, don't leave her out most of the times. That's a lesson I learned being in a relationship now.
Definitely.
You know.
That being said, be careful because you want to, if you're going to talk about your problems with a woman, make sure that you can trust that woman, that she isn't the type of person that will throw your weaknesses back in your face, because that is a thing that happens. It's happened to me before. And so do your best to not open your heart to a woman that's going to take advantage of that. And then when you guys are having an argument sometime in the future, she takes that weakness that you exposed to her and throws it back in your face, because that can really, really mess up your mental state. It can really damage your relationship, for one. And if you're with a woman that does that, especially if she does that more than once, I would recommend just leaving and finding someone that has some respect for you, because that's just not cool at all. Yeah, people, anyone, not even just women, but anyone that uses your weaknesses or your weak moments against you, don't mess with that person ever again. It's just not a good idea. It could be your parents. It could be your best friend that you've known for 20 years. It could be your girl or your wife or whatever. If it's your wife, try and work that out, especially if it's only happened once. But regardless, try to avoid those types of people, because it's just not going to be good for you, and their lives are probably going to be pretty messed up because they do that to people.
True.
Yeah.
And it's really hard, especially when you love someone and they disrespect you.
Absolutely.
And it goes both ways, women and men. Mm-hmm. You know, you know, like he said, if it's in a marriage or like a long relationship, try to working on it. You know,
absolutely.
You know, sometimes, you know, being in a relationship for so long, you're gonna get tired. But that's the part where people say, we've been married for 40 years, and then you ask them like, what's the secret? You know, a little cliche question, and then they say, you just got to keep working on each other. Mm-hmm. And that's the part where it takes to build a long, fruitful relationship with that person. But, you know, you just meet this girl you've been dating for like a couple weeks, maybe a month, and she starts throwing like disrespect around like that, homie.
Yeah, that, like, within a few months, you should be able to, hopefully you have the discernment to be able to see these things within the first few months of being in a relationship at all, of dating with someone or however it may be. Yeah, hopefully within the first few months of you being in that person's presence, you can see those things and really look for them. It's easiest to tell in the ways that they treat random people, like when they treat the waiters poorly, if they treat, you know, fast food workers poorly, if they treat other people poorly, but they're treating you nice, that's a good sign that later on in the future, they might treat you just as poorly, because they get used to you or they get too comfortable with you. They're just putting on their best face in front of you for the moment, or to you for the moment, but they're not hiding their true selves with other people. That's a very good sign that they're just not a great person.
Yeah, that's true. And then, like, the other emotions, you know, the things that you kind of hide from too. You know, a lot of people an escape from like reality. Like, again, going back to the alcohol and drinking and all that stuff. It's not just like the broad stuff, you know, like the drinking and the drugs, and, you know, going out is another one. You might want to go
Yeah.
out and party and stuff so you can escape what's really hurting inside, you know?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
you might have another type of addicted characteristics like pornography. That's a really bad one for you.
Yeah.
That's why you have trouble speaking with women. You have trouble seeing women in a certain way.
It definitely will affect your respect towards women. It's just, it rewires your brain in terms of the dopamine hit that you get from it, and then now you're always seeking out that dopamine. It's like a drug, like any other drug, because you get so much dopamine from that action. So yeah, that's another one that's a really bad escapist type behavior. You can channel your sadness, your anger, your disappointment, frustration, whatever negative emotions you might be feeling. You can channel that into all kinds of things. You can be making music, you can be making art, you can you can journal. Journaling is actually really good. That's one thing that everyone should do. I don't do it nearly as much as I should. I used to, and it was great, but then time stuff, don't really put the time in to journal. But anyways, journaling is very good to just articulate your thoughts, and it'll make you a better communicator, because if you journal every day and you're putting your thoughts on word or on paper and articulating those thoughts and processing them into words, it'll make it easier for you to do that in the future on the fly when you're talking to people, as opposed to just on paper.
Continue talking. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. And so yeah, journaling is phenomenal. Just learning how to channel your emotions into more productive activities is so key to your overall life success. This man's is making all kinds of noise over there. It's okay though. He's trying to make sure Arthur isn't messing stuff up. It's all good. It's all good. We do this. It's real. It's real.
Bro's about to eat his leash.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good for him.
I didn't want to do that.
No, definitely not.
Sorry, where were we at?
Do you have any do you have any other ideas of things that people could channel their emotions into? Positive activities that they could channel negative emotions, because positive emotions, we kind of know what to do with those for the most part.
Positive emotions. I'd say, just treat people with respect. Make sure check on people. Like if you are your battery's full, your social battery, your positive vibe battery, just share that positivity with someone else, because they may not be as positive that day. Maybe they're going through something. Just like that, take the time to talk to them. Take the time to be like, give a compliment. Like, don't come off as creep, but just like be like, hey, you do something to your hair or something. I said that to someone the other day, and they're like, I actually cut it like an inch or like a half an inch or something, which is not much.
Not enough to notice.
And then I was
personally.
like, oh, it's looking good. And then they're like, I actually really appreciate that. Thank you. And then, boom, probably made her day.
That's definitely something good. Like little comments that are really like random people too. Like it doesn't have to be someone that you know. Like you're in the grocery store and you just walk up to someone that you see, like you like their shirt, you like their hat, whatever it is that's like cool. Even if you don't, even if you're lying, honestly, if you're lying to say you look good today, that might not be the worst thing. I feel like that's probably a good lie just to make someone's day better.
Absolutely.
They might look like absolute trash. Maybe they need to hear that they look like absolute trash, but not from you because you're a random person.
Hey, bro, I just want to let you know that everyone in this grocery store thinks you look like shit. Step up your swag game, my guy. Just kidding. No, that'd be so messed up.
I have a course. I can $10 a month, $10 a week. I got a course that I can show you how to step up your swag game. It's called Drip Academy.
Purchase this. The basic pack is called Fly as Fuck. Starting at $8.99, but if you add me right now, I'll cut it down to $4. Bet.
That sounds like a pretty good deal.
I think so.
Drip
I think you should
Academy.
take it.
You guys can take this sales pitch and make it into your own business.
Definitely.
But give us,
Like
2% royalty at least.
10% equity. I don't know, dude.
I mean, royalties are fine.
Okay.
I don't know. Equity probably would have been a better term. Royalties are usually a different situation. Anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, giving people compliments is a great way to make your day better, because you know that you maybe made that person's day better, and like just doing nice things for people really helps. If you're having a bad day or you've been going through some stuff, finding someone that you know that's also going through some stuff and trying to help them through it can oftentimes really help you figure out your own stuff. So that's definitely a good way to channel your negative emotions and the negativity in your life into more positive outcomes.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe you can save someone's life like that.
Yeah, true. Because you never know how close someone might be to the edge. And as much as we might not want to talk about that, as much as we might want to act like, oh, this person's fine, like but you really don't know. So doing positive things for people, being there for people, even people you may not be that close with, like Carlos was saying, is like, ask, hey, you want to talk about it? If they say no, cool. If they say yes, of course, listen. And even if they say no, it's a coworker, for example, and they're like, no, I'm good. They might come to you later and be like, you know what? I do kind of want to talk about it. You got time? And just being there for people and being there to listen. Don't talk, just listen. And one really good listening skill that I've learned over time is just repeating back what they said in your own words to prove that you're actually listening. Repeating back what they said in your own words to make sure that, A, you understand, but to show them also that you're listening and that you do understand. And that is a great way to, A, build relationships, but B, really show someone that you are interested in what they're saying and that you're listening, and that helps them feel better about whatever their situation might be. Because also you might put it into different words, and that might open up their mind to a different way of looking at their problem, which might help them solve their problem.
Definitely. I think it's very important to also surround yourself with like-minded people.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people, a lot of men, tend to want to become this lone wolf, but you need your wolf pack for sure.
Yeah.
I think you need your group of homies, that you can trust and bond with and hang out and do man shit for sure.
Yeah.
Because the more you grow up, especially that's dangerous. The more you grow up, the more isolation you'll start creating within yourself and other people, because you got, your family to take care of, you got your kids to take care of, you got your business to take care of, you got your work and all that other stuff. You got yourself to take care of. But don't forget your your pack, your wolf pack. You need people to build. You need your group, your village, and I think it's very important to make friends and stay, close to people that you have the same beliefs, same strategies, same, building blocks. You know what I'm saying? Don't isolate yourself. Don't think you're stronger than everyone else. Don't think that you can do it alone, because that's not true.
You can do that for a period of time, but eventually there's always someone that's stronger. Mm-hmm. And like, you can be that big bad mofo that's there, can knock everybody out. But someday, at some point, you gonna get knocked out. Mm-hmm. And it might not even be a person that knocks you out. It might be a situation. It might be, yeah, exactly, life itself. So do your best to stay humble, and, be the best version of yourself that you can be, in the way that you treat people, in the way that you go after your own goals, in the way that you understand the world, in the way that you educate yourself. Like, just do all of those things, make your life as good as possible, basically. And there are a lot of ways to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are a lot of ways to do that.
I mean, a country's not run on one person. A town isn't run by one person. What makes you think that you can run your own life by yourself?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you have God in the middle of everything.
Absolutely.
But also you need your people,
Mm-hmm.
Why I think a church has multiple people, helping you, praying for you, talking to you, trying to get you involved and really pushing you toward God, you know what I'm saying? Because the pastor can talk up there all he wants, but as soon as he gets off that,
off the pulpit.
Yeah. What? You go home and that's it? Or do you have, your brothers in Christ, kind of texting you like, hey, we got a small group. Hey, how you doing, man? You taking care of yourself?
A Bible study is also there are online Bible studies that actually, I'm going to start going to one on Mondays. Mondays at, our time, it's 4:00. I'll send you a link, actually.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to start going to those.
That'd be cool.
It's a Zoom Bible study, so it's like pretty easy. I mean, if you can't make it, because I know you typically work around that time, huh?
What time?
Mondays at 4.
I work usually at 7.
Okay, yeah. So you'd probably be good.
Yeah, those other times, the morning shifts, were because I was picking up OT.
Ah, that makes sense. So I wish I could pick up as much OT as I'd like to at my job, but it's not how it is. not that simple. We don't work 24 hours. It's a shop.
Right.
My bad. It's my mistake.
No, you're good.
I should have chosen a different career field. I like my job. I'm not going to cap.
I like mine too. There's days that it's harder than other days, especially when you don't get adequate sleep. But I love what I do. I'm sorry. Some people might say some other things, but I like it.
That's very good. You got to love what you do. I mean, if you don't love what you do, you can only do that for so long before you're going to pull your hair out.
Yeah, and I think it's also important the people you're around with. That makes a big difference. I think
absolutely.
If you can have a great time, you enjoy working with who you work with, I think that makes a big difference in what you do. You can you can be going through like shit and like tough day at work, but I think as long as you got your homies next to you, I think it'll be all right.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to have you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Mm-hmm. So if you're spending time with people that are not good for you, you are not going to be good for yourself. If you're spending time around people that are doing better than you, you are going to be better for yourself.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like to make it a little bit more simple for those who don't really understand that is basically like I work out by myself sometimes, most of the time. And then I started working out with Lemac, hitting back like once a week. And the fact that I'm able to push more on lats, deadlift 315 for 10, I surprised myself. I'm like, damn. Like, okay, maybe I should start working out with someone because, okay.
Hey, sometimes I go through phases. Like when I started training one of my roommates, I was doing better with him. But after a while, his motivation kind of dropped off, and it was kind of messing with my motivation in the gym. So, and then he also got busy with some other stuff, so I ended up going alone just by the circumstances. And sometimes going alone really, really helps just because you can get into your own zone and really push yourself. But at the same time, also having someone to work out with that is just as driven as you are, if not more so, really, really does help you motivate yourself and push yourself to push more and pull more and do more in the gym and whatever it is you're doing. Because it may not be the gym. It might be some side project that you're working on. It could be just an art project. You have other people that maybe you're in a Reddit group or a Discord group or whatever the case may be, whatever it is that you're working on. If you're working on that, not in a vacuum, not by yourself, and you have other people that are working on similar projects, maybe you don't even know them personally. Maybe it's just some random person that you chose to be your rival that you're like, I want to try and replicate their results and better. And that'll help you proceed to do better yourself.
Absolutely. I believe it. I think
absolutely.
Yeah, you got to, and also be careful on who you choose.
That's true.
A lot of people can drain your energy, can drag you down.
Yeah.
And then, that's another way you can stress down.
But that's what I mean by like a Discord group or a Reddit group or just some random person. That's what's honestly one of the greatest things about the internet is you can find so many people that are interested in the same things you are. You might not have to meet them in person. Of course, be careful who you're talking to on the internet because there's all kinds of people out there that might try and take advantage of you. But at the same time, there are plenty of people that are working on all kinds of things, and the chances that you'll find someone that's interested in the same things that you're interested in are very high on the internet. It's going to be real easy to find them as opposed to 50 years ago, where if you were working on something vague and specific, chances of you finding someone else that was doing the same thing, not very high because you were limited to your town. Or, I mean, maybe you could probably find a way, like a newspaper article or a big city and just like city hop until you find the right place. But Lord knows that wasn't necessarily easy.
That's why cities were so popular back then.
That's true.
And then nowadays it's just because that's where they establish themselves, and then everyone wants to be there because there's money.
I mean, people are moving out of cities now.
I know.
We're getting a bit more spread out, which is honestly a good thing in my opinion.
Damn it. That makes
cities
the
are
land
not,
cost.
The land overall cost is going up a little bit, but at the same time, cities are not really good for people, in my opinion, especially when it comes to like the brake dust and the smog and all of that. Definitely not good for people, but also I don't think people are made to live in such large groups and so close together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of diversity in those large groups, and then that's what causes issues, I believe. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, diversity can be a good and a bad thing. You want diversity of opinion, but also at the same time, like if you have a diversity of culture, that can make things hard because you might have two cultures that clash really, really badly that are right next to each other, and that's how you get like different gangs working on each other violently, kind of thing. Like you might have Mexican gangs on one side of town, and then like next door is an African American gang, and they're just at war all the time. That is a thing that happens. So you don't want that. You don't want that.
I like culture. I like culture, man. I
love culture, but you do have that sometimes where different cultures clash.
Right. Yeah.
That's just a fact of life.
I think that's everything. That's why there's war, right? I mean,
yeah, that is why there's war. Well, there's resource war too. So resources are the main reason that there's war. But
I think back in the day.
Back in the day, culture was definitely one of the main drivers of war.
Like
but at the same time, still, I would say that resources were more of the cause. Well, no, even back in the day, because this tribe might have control over this field that you could grow this, and that in. Now, trade is definitely a better way to solve that problem. But, you know, sometimes the negotiations don't go the way that you want them to, and one or both of you decide to just say, screw it, and go to war. That's just, I mean, that's human history.
I think so, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
unfortunately, we choose war more often than we should, which is zero. But it happens. I mean, that being said, if there's one tribe that's killing children and all of that, like sacrificing them to the sun god, that's probably a culture I'd be okay with going to war with. I'd be okay with going to the war with the cartels, you know?
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
You think, well, did you hear about that whole thing? How the U.S. or like Mexico found like a whole mine of lithium, and then America's like,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. It's more likely that China would do that because they own all the lithium mines in Africa.
Oh,
not all of them,
really?
but most of them. Yeah,
did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of the. But that's a different podcast topic entirely about the mining operations in other countries, how we outsource all of the slave labor essentially that we get to build our electric cars, our phones, all of that. We just outsource slave labor, as if like all these woke people talking about they want electric cars and you know the green initiative and climate change and all that, and then they're also typically anti like slavery and all of these things, but at the same time they're totally fine with outsourcing slave labor, which is basically what's happening to Africa.
Wild.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Maybe we'll do a podcast on that, and
I think we should,
I'll actually do some research, like I did that one time. Yeah,
I can't wait until we get to the point where we actually have to go out for research. Imagine
that would be awesome.
Having,
if we can go and travel.
Yeah,
dude, that would be sick. That would be sick. We'd have to be making some money in the first place.
No, definitely, yeah. I mean, just something.
I think that's definitely doable. Like, I definitely don't see that as impossible. I think that is actually an eventuality, something that will happen in the future. But at the moment, it's the future. You know,
the future. I like it.
Future.
The future is bright.
It's bright. Exactly. Yeah. We ain't black pilled out here. We're white pilled.
Exactly.
Which I don't know if I like those terms, honestly. Because white pilled is just like, I don't know if you guys don't know what that means. White pilled is like you have a very bright outlook on the future. Black pilled, you have a very dark outlook on the future. It's similar to red pill, blue pill, the whole thing. If you're blue pilled, you're the person that's like totally unaware of all the conspiracy theories being true. And if you're red pilled, you might be a little too conspiratorial. But anyways, that's besides the point. I think we've gotten to a good spot. This was I think so. It's a good episode. I think hopefully we helped some people deal with their emotional issues, or at least figure out some ideas for what they might be able to do to improve themselves, their mental states, and all of that. This is a very good mental health episode.
Yeah, guys, get into boxing. You know, get into running.
Yeah, boxing is good.
Just
cardio.
Release some stress, man. Don't take your life too serious. I mean, take it serious in the things that matter. But you know, when life tries to knock you down, it means that you might be leveling up. You know.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey, the game gets hardest right before you get the coolest weapons.
Yep.
You know,
it's true. And just keep striving forward, keep pushing you guys yourselves, and you know, just look at better days for sure.
Absolutely.
I believe in everyone out there that's trying to progress forward and do good things in life.
Absolutely. 1% every day. And you know, not every day you're going to really hit that 1%. You might go up 0.5%. You might go up 0.1%. But to really just put your mind on improving yourself and your situation every single day, you're going to do a whole lot better by the end of that year.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we got a lot of years ahead of us, ideally.
Yeah, believe so, for sure.
I do too.
You know.
But yeah, all right. I think that's good. I've been Lemac.
I'm Carlos.
And this has been Some Young Guys, solving the world's problems in a podcast.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.